The NFL under fire. The league has reportedly found no other current team or league personnel to have sent emails containing racist, homophobic, or misogynistic language other than an exchange of emails between former Raiders head coach Jon Gruden and then Washington team president Bruce Allen. Las Vegas Raiders coach Jon Gruden did quit this week over a series of offensive emails. They were uncovered during the league's investigation of alleged misconduct by officials of the Washington football team. The NFL has refused to release a final report on that investigation. Critics say the league is hiding other evidence of bias and bad behavior.
Emily Applegate says she continues to live with the trauma she suffered while working as a marketing coordinator with the Washington football team a half-decade ago.
It's like day 3, and my immediate boss, who is the CMO, was already saying things to me about the way I looked, my appearance. And then it just snowballed. He would take pictures of me on his phone, which I didn't know all the time.
Applegate was one of the first women to speak out about Washington's workplace culture. An ensuing league investigation concluded the team had a toxic culture rife with sexual harassment. But after more than 100 interviews and 650,000 emails obtained, no formal written report was released. The only major punishment? A $10 million fine for team owner Daniel Snyder.
It's completely re-victimizing. It's telling us that everything that we went through, every personal detail that we shared, was not important enough to make any kind of change.
But Applegate hasn't given up. This week, she and 9 other former Washington employees turned to the NFL's biggest sponsors, calling on them to pressure the league to release the findings of the investigation to the public.
When you have a sponsor paying you millions of dollars and they're telling you, what, we want to see this too, that's going to do the most damage.
In the letter to sponsors, the group wrote, "The consequence of Mr. Goodell's decisions around the investigation and the lack of any meaningful action against Dan Snyder is to tell women and survivors everywhere, you and your experiences do not matter to the NFL."
It is the first instance I can recall in which there was not a written report.
Amy Trask was the first female CEO in the league and is now an NFL analyst for CBS Sports.
Going to sponsors and trying to apply pressure. Is that a smart way to try to incentivize the NFL or force the NFL's hand?
It's a tried and true method, so I'm not surprised that they're doing it, but I don't know if it will work.
For Applegate, the fight extends beyond the NFL.
This isn't just a sports issue. This is an issue throughout any industry. In order for us to make a great change, why not start with one of the most recognized organizations in the world?
We reached out to the 6 major NFL sponsors mentioned in that letter who was sent that letter, but have not heard back. The group Applegate is working with may not be alone in their fight, though. The NFL Players Association has said it plans to petition the NFL and call for the release of all the emails associated with the investigation. And Amy Trask and I discussed this idea of transparency, and why not say, this is who we were. We're working on getting better. Show everybody what's there. Obviously, there are a lot of issues and there are other things we may or may not know, but all we can do is speculate unless a formal written report is released.
Is there any indication that all the emails come out?
The NFL so far has said that they are not releasing any of this information, but the NFL Players Association, once they start negotiating their collective bargaining agreement, could have some sway if they do try to hold out to get these emails released and see what else is in there.
It is larger than just the NFL. We've seen this over and over again.
Right.
When bad behavior is investigated, sometimes the results of those investigations are not made public.
Yeah.
They need to be.
Transparency.